Hello, beautiful peoples. Welcome. So nice to be in space with you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. We're going to talk astrology. Of course, y'all already know all the things. Welcome to the space. I'm just gathering my screens here. So if you can just be a little patient in the meantime, and just say hello to the space. Say hello to the group. Say hello to everyone. How's your Saturday going? I hope that so far it's feeling restful and that you're feeling good in whatever way the universe, is showing up for you, however she's showing up for you. But thank you truly for being here, and we're gonna read some charts. We're gonna read some astrology. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the sound. Thank you, friends, for letting me know. Just want to make sure you can hear me okay. And then we'll get started here. Yeah, it's a fun treat, huh? Let me get this going here. Put you here so I can see everybody's chat responses. Welcome everyone. How's everybody's Saturday going? How are we feeling? How's Saturday treating you so far? Yay. Can y'all hear my music as well? Just making sure you can hear the background music too. Just want to make sure it's also not super distracting for folks as well. Bam. All right. Yay, happy you're here as well. So we're going to talk some astrology. We have some readings to go through today. Just quick heads up, there's 2 more spots available. If you would like your chart read for like this little 15-minute short read. Hold on, I forgot my flower. Got my little flower, yay. If you would like a reading, you can go to the link in my bio, or you can go to the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. So whichever one works for you, go for it. Yeah, there's 2 more readings that are open. But let's talk about what's going on astrologically right now. It's quite a potent time for sure, because we're about to enter Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini is going to be stationing very shortly, today to be exact, maybe tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in. So we have Uranus is crazy innovator. Anytime we sit with Uranus, we're thinking of innovation. We're thinking of also collective awakening. Depending on what sign it's in, will tell you the color or the shape around that grand awakening. I keep talking about Uranus and how I love it and how it represents the revolutionary, right? It presents evolution because, when we look at the solar system, it is the only planet that rotates on its side, on a tilt, completely sideways. And there's something about that imagery in our solar system, how it's so unique, that I think it really paints the picture of what Uranus energy is all about. It's turning things sideways. It's lifting the veil between reality and what we don't see. And it shapes the collective perception in many ways. The last time Uranus was in Gemini, we saw code breaking, we saw radios in living rooms, eventually we saw television and how that completely shaped the way we communicate. And I think it's not, we're not exaggerating here in the sense that every time Uranus has entered Gemini, the way in which we share information, the way in which perception is created and curated absolutely shifts. And I think it's quite beautiful. It's quite amazing that we have this consciousness shaping planet entering, while Neptune, the planet of spirituality, the spirit of, how we spiritualize reality, is in Aries, which is getting us to really look at the spirit of our courage. We have Daddy Saturn, which is testing the limits of our courage. We also have Pluto, the systemic, rot shaker, the chain breaker in Aquarius right now, really motivating the collective to look at the terms and conditions that we have maybe unconsciously agreed to. And every time we've seen Uranus and Gemini, it has been marked with the energy of tension and war. And you can follow any Uranus and Gemini transit. We had World War II, Civil War, Revolutionary War, French Revolution, Haitian Revolution. You can find a thread line of either Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, or Uranus in Gemini. And I don't say all this war information to fearmonger, absolutely not. But I do utilize the pattern of it all to, look at this current moment that we're in, the tension, and where we're being motivated to probably show up in ways that aren't as convenient, right? I think in many ways humanity is really motivated to look at themselves and to look at these systems in some very real ways, and to hopefully from this Aries energy maybe create a new system of sorts, maybe initiate action in different ways that feel different. So when we look at Uranus and Gemini and how time and time again it has really shifted the way we communicate, while we have AI really percolating and getting more advanced, absolutely, I think the Jetsons cartoon is growing ever so closer and closer into manifestational form. And now we're looking at these cartoons of the past and where we are today. Look at Back to the Future, and we're seeing, okay, cool, technology is advancing rapidly. It's very much the signature of Uranus and Gemini as well. Technology moving quickly, communication moving quickly. And we have to think that, television really rocked our perceptions in crazy ways. Who we are collectively as humanity when the last Uranus and Gemini transit really happened, it's very different. It's very different. It's very strange. And now everything is connected, right? And what does that mean? What does it mean to be connected, and how much of this connection and the perception this connection builds is truly ours, and how much of it is borrowed? So we're seeing this Uranus and Gemini perception breaking transit where, it'll live in Gemini for 7 years. I keep alluding to Uranus and Gemini as being like the last, chess piece for this season on Earth, the next chapter of Earth, and how between Uranus and Gemini, Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, never in recorded history have these three transits ever been together, forming this crazy aspects of fire and air. I mean, we gotta look at it real quick. Hold on, I gotta pull up the Gemini, Uranus and Gemini, and the aspects that it's creating as well. Eventually, it'll form this crazy aspect, which I think is gonna be quite intense. So up here we have Neptune in Aries. Little by little, this kite is being formed, which is really beautiful. It's a signature of some supportive energies really flowing and going. And then over here, of course, we have Saturn in Aries, Mars in Aries, Mercury in Aries, Chiron in Aries, all this Aries energy really motivating us to take action in some way, shape, or form. Of course, we have the softness that is Jupiter in Cancer, really stretching our hearts here, motivating us to look at the philosophies of care and how we care for one another. And then over here, we have the little chaos gremlin, of course, Uranus and Gemini, really shifting the energies here, adding even more air to the conversation. Eventually, we'll have all these energies forming a triangle, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, which I'm sure is going to create, there's opportunity here for that to really be the signature of some major innovation. I wouldn't be surprised if we get AGI from a transit like this. Gemini is absolutely the student of the zodiac, the researcher, really loves to deep dive into certain topics and to learn. And I think what we're, at least how I'm interpreting here, the energies present is that we have a lot to learn, friends. We have a lot to learn. And Uranus and Gemini, like that incessant inner child inside all of us, just perpetually asking why. Uranus and Gemini is going to really push us and motivate us forward toward a quest in exploring the answers to these questions, which, how exciting, what a gift, what an opportunity it is to, it's remarkable. Of course there's tension, of course there's craziness, but I think collectively we're really being motivated to think up more creative solutions. And what exciting astrology we're living through right now. Truly empire crumbling and empire building energy as well. So as scary as it is that things are ending and things are so clear in front of our faces all the time, trust that cosmically, historically, we're exactly where we need to be. We have been here before. It just happens to be our turn to tell this story. It's our turn to initiate and to begin and to, seize this opportunity for what it is, to hopefully give life to the desires that we all have inside of us, probably a little quieter in the past and probably a little bit louder right now. We all have these desires, and all the energy right now between the air energy and the fire energy, it's adding that air, adding that oxygen to the fire in hopes of us becoming, active participants in curating and shaping reality at this caliber. So it's quite exciting, honestly. I think of it as an energy that, great, awesome, open up all those tabs, do all the do's, and try on new things. We're not meant to just be the same person all the time. Yes, there comes a time and place where we need that structure, but eventually we got to go outside our comfort zone here to pioneer something through, to, in a very Star Trek-y way, go to the places no one's gone before. And what an amazing, exciting time it is to go to those places, to explore these energies in such beautiful ways, and then to see what comes from it, which is hopefully something way more exciting. And it's also, I'll tell you, it's a place we haven't gone before together. So that's what we have going on right now collectively. We are also in Taurus season, so happy Taurus season, my Taurus babes. It is your time. Taurus season is all about also embracing the pleasures of life as well. Yes, there is action, but don't forget to also reap the benefits of these actions we've taken. Taurus comes into the zodiac to remind us wow, we get to eat good food and sleep on comfortable beds, and what a beautiful earth this is to live in. We are so blessed and so gifted, and we can be comfortable in this moment as well. So as much as we're in a very Aries way being motivated to take action, don't forget to pause and also take stock. That's a really good Taurus word right there, to take stock of all that we have and all that we will have. We are abundant by design, and there's a lot working for us than against us. So it's important for us to remember that, to slice out some humble pie, and also embrace wow, there are beautiful things all around us, and what a gift it is, right? So that's what we have collectively going on. I am going to switch over to some personal readings now. So we have a couple of readings on the books. I'm curious for you, while I get the first chart up for Erica, how is this astrology showing up for you? What do you think is being called of you right now in this chapter? Because all of us in some way, shape, or form are being motivated, hopefully, to take different steps and different actions. Or maybe these actions that have been lingering and sitting on a shelf somewhere, maybe they're a lot closer to our faces now, because it's like, whoa, we got to do something, right? At some point we have to move. And where is this movement being motivated, loves? Where's your movement? Where are you being called to move in your life right now, you know? So first up, we have Erica, classic Catubig, I think so. Wherever you are, either on Instagram or on YouTube, please just type in, hey, I'm here, so that I know. Okay, great. I'm just looking at your notes here, making sure that your information is correct. All right. Oh, whoa, Erica. All right, this message is for Erica. How exciting. I'm going to go ahead and change my screen here so you can see your chart as well in real time while I'm talking about it. So I think it's so beautiful for you, Erica. Hopefully you're in the space somewhere. Erica, this message is for you. I think it's beautiful that in the notes you put career. You're like, hey, I have questions about career and stepping into career. And anytime somebody's asking about career, I'm looking at one of two things. I'm looking at the 10th house of career, the 10th house of legacy building, which is a very Capricorn house. It's the legacy we want to be remembered for. It's the energy of like, great, I want to do good work in this life. I want to be of service in meaningful ways. So when I put myself on stage, what does that look like? What does my stage look like and feel like? So I'm looking at what's happening in the 10th house, and I'm typically looking at the midheaven as well, which is the crown of your chart. This is very much like the energy that you carry forward onto the grand stage of life. And with Gemini, it paints the picture of a legacy built on curiosity. We're talking about a legacy built where you get to have all the tabs open. And Gemini is an air sign, and an air sign in the sense that it's mutable air. It's air energy that's just constantly reaching and going outward and engaging in real-time conversation, having that information inform you in real time to go, ooh, that's interesting. And now I'm going to go connect another dot over here and another dot over here and another dot over here. You see, where Gemini strives is in asking questions. Where Gemini thrives is in learning from others in real time as well. And from that, in their very mad scientist way, going back into the laboratory, searching, and then, innovating and creating something based off of the perceptions and the information they're receiving. So I think Gemini carries a genius in many ways, not like Aquarius genius, which tends to be more logical and kind of like detached. Gemini is in it. It's in the perceptions. It's in the vibrational field all the time. And that's why people confuse Gemini energy for two-faced energy or well, what really are you? It's like, no, babe, I'm just so good at mirroring the energy and the space that I'm in. And that's all that I'm doing. I'm showing you this part of you. I'm showing you that this too is possible, right? So up here in Gemini, you have this massive pileup, Sun in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini. So, okay, we're a communicator. We have some things to speak. We have some stories to tell. We have some TED Talks to give, which I love for you. We also have Venus in Gemini here as well, which goes to tell me, like, if we're looking for an ideal partner, perhaps it's in the work that we do that you will find that ideal mate. Having maybe a collaborator, a sounding board, a romantic partner of some sort that you can get those energies going and churning, and like having a relationship that you can try on something that makes sense to you now and then completely shift pictures and then completely move in the next direction, right? We also have here a Chiron wound in Gemini, right? Chiron is the wounded healer. It's a place that, early on in childhood, our environment around us planted and placed a wound which got us to maybe question what we want and desire in life, right? Chiron, the wounded healer in Gemini, is a wound where we're probably limiting the questions we actually have and want to explore in life. It tells me probably, since we have all this Capricorn energy in the 4th house as well, like perhaps your family system, mom, dad, whoever was your main caregiver, kind of planted these seeds in you on like what life should look like, what sort of job you should have, what sort of profession you should embark on. There were some very pointed beliefs projected onto you, and that created a life and an inner world where we're going about business and entrepreneurship and legacy building through the lens of what other people projected onto us. So, of course, the medicine here is surrendering to the curiosity, surrendering to this like just inner aliveness that you have inside you that wants to move on to the next thing. Curiosity is absolutely your compass. And curiosity is that vessel that, hey, if we can learn to embrace our curiosity more and give up the perfectionism of it all, come on, South Node in Virgo, Virgo rising. It's like we want to start a business, we want to build a legacy, but there's this idea that it has to look a certain way or feel a certain way for it to be substantial, for it to be enough. That inner critic is mad loud, Erica. It's super loud, and it's limiting us from just experiencing the adventure of life. North Node Pisces, baby. Like, come on. We're meant to master surrender in this lifetime. We're meant to surrender to the energy of this, like, wow, okay, life is a grand mystery. There's a lot more that we don't know than we think we do. And as much as Virgo wants to probably prepare for the worst, probably prepare for that ball to drop, yes, there's a time and place for that sort of energy. Preparation is needed. But when that becomes a limitation for us also experience the sort of randomness that is life as well. And also the feeling that there is a ancestral, spiritual, ethereal team of energies just like guiding you and motivating you to break free of your limitations as well. So what I encourage you to explore, because I don't want to tell you what to do, but what I encourage you to explore is how you might limit your curiosity, what limits your curiosity as well. I would also encourage you to look at, when we think of business and legacy and all these sort of, I want to know my purpose. That's one of the biggest questions we receive, like as astrologers. It's like, what is my purpose? And it's like, if we put all this pressure on purpose being this like one thing we end up finding and just like stick to it for the rest of our lives, and we'll just be happy doing this one thing forever and ever and ever. But it's flawed, the spiritual development, personal growth, paradigm, whatever you want to call it, has got us thinking that we got to find this big purpose, right? But that's not the goal here. I'd say with someone with all this Gemini energy in your 10th house, man, we're a multi-passionate being. You're meant to have pie multiple purposes in your life, and that's exciting. That's exciting to be able to, explore multiple things that life has to offer. So ask those questions, wean off that perfectionism, wean off those limitations, really push past what we think it needs to look like, or career needs to look like in a traditional sense, and surrender to, well, when I think of having a meaningful day to day, what does meaningful look like for you? What does that look like? Because trust and believe, you're meant to have that in this lifetime. You're meant to feel and experience that. So ask those questions. Uranus and Gemini is about to enter this. First, it's going to enter this 9th house of philosophy and worldview. So we might start learning other cultures' philosophies or spiritual modalities even. We might be going to school. We might be, getting a doctorate or a PhD. Or if you're not going to school in the sort of academic sense, or maybe enrolling into the school of life, whatever that looks like for us. So consider it. I would say just consider it. Consider going outside of your comfort zone. I think we've done a lot of ruminating probably, and now it's a matter of, cool, when you think of the next exciting question, and that the quest that comes from exploring the answers to that question, what does that look like for you? What does that truly look like for you? And now we explore. Now we embark on that quest. All right, dear? Yay! All right, Erica. Well, I hope you found that to be useful. I don't think I got a message from you on either Instagram or YouTube that you are here, and that you were here live at least. Regardless of anything, you will get the replay of this. You can watch the replay of it on YouTube. So if you happen to miss your reading, this goes for anybody. If you happen to miss your reading, the replays are all on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Color Me Crazy TV. You can go ahead and look for it on there, which lots of people found it to be useful. Let's see if we have any more. We are booked up for today, friends. Yay! Booked up for today. So if you would like a reading, you gotta book in advance, babies. You gotta book in advance. I do these readings every Thursday and Saturday. Thursday is at 5 Pacific time and 8 Eastern time, and Saturdays are at 10 Pacific, and that would be what? 1 Eastern? Yeah. So if you would like a reading, you gotta get in advance, peoples. Get in advance while you can. Hi, baby. We're having a great day out here. Pew, 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 pew. That's my babies. That's my babies right there. We're having a great day, creating, doing our things, breathing life to all of our little passions. We're both Aries, so y'all already know. We're like Aries energy. But it works. Double Aries works, absolutely works. All right, friends, so let's go ahead and get another reading on the books here. Next up on my list, we have Cat. Next up on the list, we have Cat. So wherever you are, Cat, Kit Kat, just let me know you're here. Say hello in the chat, Cat. And let me just get your chart up and running here. Wow. That's not the time. Right. All right. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. You have my brother and my spiritual sister's birthday. So that's beautiful. I love that. Of course, your chart will be different than theirs because you were born in a different location. But it's nice to see this birthday in the space. All right. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, Kit Kat. Yay, Cat the Taurus. I love your handle ready. Uh, all right, let me just read your notes real quick, Kit Kat. Okay, great. I love that. So we're just doing an open reading for you. See what comes up. And if during this reading though, Kit Kat, if a question comes up or anything, something that you want to explore more of, then please let me know. Just drop it in the comments or in the chat, I mean, and we can talk about it. Oh, forgot to. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I want to we'll talk about two things in your chart. First, we're going to talk about Aries energy, and then we're going to talk about Gemini energy, because Uranus is about to enter Gemini, and you got a lot of Gemini energy in your chart. But what's sticking out for me first and foremost is your Aries chart. Now I'm going to pull up a transit by wheel here so you can see what energies transit-wise are activating certain parts of your chart. The inner wheel is your personal chart, and the outer wheel is the transit chart, okay? So when we look at what's happening in the inner chart here, I'm looking at all this Aries energy hitting this north node, okay? So I love this for you and for anybody else who has an Aries north node, because Aries north node peoples right now are growing through and moving through a period in their life where they're stepping up as leaders in some way, shape, or form. Stepping up as leaders, stepping up as initiators, right? And if we're looking at a north node in Aries, we're looking at a south node in Libra, which is Aries's perfect opposite. With south node, we're looking at the shadow of that archetype, and in south node, we're looking at the shadow here of Libra, right? The shadow of Libra is interesting because Libra, when it's perfectly balanced and aligned, it's very much balanced. It's the ability to look at this and that and find yourself in the middle of it all. If you have a north node in Libra, this is the energy we're reaching toward, right? We're reaching toward unmovable peace. We're reaching toward pure peace in paradox and being able to measure and weigh out two things, right? We're looking at a discerning energy that, sure, we can be beautiful, we can be balanced. I would say beauty steers the ship of any sort of Libra archetype, right? And when we look at, nature, that's that, the nervous system exhale of like, wow, life is beautiful. And that's a very Libra concept. It's no wonder why Libra is also ruled by Venus, right? So these themes of just like justice and fairness and balance conceptually versus Venus, which, Taurus is ruled by Venus, material beauty, material comfort, earthly pleasures. We're looking at the concepts of balance with Libra versus the material balance that we're looking at with Taurus, right? So North Node Libra, ultimately fairness, diplomacy, all of that. Now with South Node Libra, we're looking at someone who's also forgotten about themselves when it comes to weighing out things, right? And we look at this through the lens of relationships and partnerships and collaborations. So there is a people-pleasing tendency we're looking at when there's a South Node in Libra. This ability to probably be over-compromising, over-giving of self. It's this energy of, in order to maintain balance and harmony in those people I relate to, out of fear of causing conflict or confrontation or damage or harm, I will remove myself completely and just give others everything they want. Now, it's important for us to know that there's a part of us inside all of us that has a capacity to do this. And the giving is not a bad thing. But when we give from a place of, even though deep down inside there's a bodily response that says no, there's a boundary that may be coming up, that's where things get a little wonky and wacky. To be self-sacrificing is a beautiful quality to have, to be able to consider other people's as well, beautiful quality to have. But when it comes at like sacrificing those boundaries that clearly go against your values, that's where it gets out of whack, right? To which in a past life, that was you. In a past life, very much South Node, Libra, it's like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? How can I be of service to you? How can I be of service to you? Blah, 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 blah. And in this lifetime, you said, give me that North Node in Aries, which says, in order to be in true relational integrity with others, you have to know who you are in the world as well, in relationship to yourself, so that you can be a clearer mirror for others, right? So Aries right now, all this Aries energy activating this fourth house, we're looking at family, we're looking at home, we're looking at also our emotional foundation as well, which in Aries, it's asking us to, probably we have to have an uncomfortable conversation with some family members, whoever that emotional foundation is for you, whoever you belong to in a family system sort of way. I think we may have been or may be a little too malleable. And I think there are some clear boundaries and some clear like conversations that need to happen, which means we're probably risking confrontation in some way. I would say with North Node and Aries, your closest relationships are very much like the battlefield for you in life, like a battlefield for you to learn who you are as you connect with others as well. And I would say your values and what you stand for aren't crazy, you know? I think what's crazier is probably the masking that we do at times, the people pleasing that we do at some times, because we just want to be liked by others, right? We just want to be accepted by others. And that's universal. We all want to be accepted, right? We all want to belong. But who you're meant to belong to, or how you're meant to build a sense of belonging in this lifetime at least, is to belong to yourself first. I would say here to be consciously selfish, right? To which that South Node in Libra goes, what do you mean? You literally got taught selflessness, right? You literally got taught to put others before you. But what we're seeing here with the Aries North Node is metaphorically and maybe physically learning how to secure your oxygen mask first before like putting it on the baby, right? We see this in these airline, how to, be safe, right? Just in case an emergency happens. And truly, 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 I see it here in that fourth house of like, we are reinventing and pioneering an emotional foundation in this stage of our life, an emotional foundation that, hey, actually, I need to belong to myself first. I need to know who I am in the world first before I throw myself all willy-nilly into anything else, right? And interestingly enough, you have Jupiter, the planet of abundance and doors opening, right? In Aries as well, in the fourth house. So your North Node and your ability to open doors in this lifetime is directly related to how much of yourself you feel in this world. I think we really know with the South Node in Libra what the not self is, who the not self is, right? And with North Node in Libra, North Node in in Aries, gosh, Aquarius, North Node in Aries, we're looking at who the self truly is in this world. And every understanding that every no is opening doors to the yeses we're meant to experience in life. That's that Jupiter in Aries. Like Jupiter in Aries is the yes. Like, yes, you did it. Here's some experience points. Yes, you did it. Here's a door opening for you. But we got to get there through the clear no. Actually, this is my line in the sand, and not because I'm trying to be unmovable or unreasonable, but because this line in the sand preserves life. This line in the sand preserves my autonomy. This line in the sand is what respect looks like. And if we cannot agree on what respect looks like, what fairness looks like, then no, I don't need you. I don't need to fight with you either. I can still be at peace with who I am and how I move through this world without you. North Node in Aries in the 4th house of home and belonging. I want you, but I don't need you. I want you in my life, but I don't need you in my life, right? So it's beautiful here. I think we're seeing with all this Aries energy. In many ways, we're all being motivated to look at those parts of ourselves, right? To look at those unmovable parts of ourselves that probably others might label as unreasonable. And for you, with that North Node in Aries, we're stretching, right? We're stretching to bold, brave leadership. Probably what leadership needs to look like in this chapter, right? So really good on you. I encourage you to keep exploring and to keep moving forward. And when you think of the health of your closest relationships, it can be family, it can be chosen family, it can be when you think of the people whom you belong to right now, how much of that belonging has been bridged through a filter? How much of that belonging was built perhaps on a foundation that might not feel or is the same for you anymore? And it's okay. It's okay for those conditions to change. It's okay for those terms and conditions to change. It's okay for expectations in relationship to change as well. But we got to talk about it instead of just assuming other people can read our minds. It's another South Node in Libra trope. Instead of assuming other people could read our minds, we got to also make things more clear and direct, which is very Aries. Directness, right? And directness is not a scary thing. Okay? All right. That's what we have for you. The other thing I probably would have added is with Uranus entering Gemini, it's going to be activating eventually all of this 7th house energy. So your relationships are going through massive changes and innovations right now. So this theme of relationship is something you're going to be carrying for a minute. So use your relationships as that sort of litmus test of like, okay, cool. In what ways is my courage being tested here? In what ways is my, my energy being tested here? And how can I be more brave in the commitments that I have? All right. So that's what I have for you, love. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for being here. I saw some comments. I think I saw a comment from someone who missed their reading. Just so you know, friends, if you miss your reading, all of it is live and the replay is posted on my YouTube channel. So if you go to Color Me Crazy TV on YouTube, it's linked in my bio on Instagram. If you're already watching on YouTube, just go to my videos, go to the lives, and you can go back and you can re-listen to your reading. What's beautiful is that for these readings, like if you show up, obviously it's great because we can kind of dialogue and go a little back and forth with your chart. And if you don't, I can still read your chart. And there's probably somebody in the space who shares similar planetary positions and aspects as you. So your contributions probably opens the door of understanding for other people in the space. So you can go back and watch the replay though. That's totally available. So on that note, let's move on to the next one here. next reading, which will be for Meredith. Meredith, this one's for you. Just give me a second here to get things ready for you. Let's see. Thank you, Kit Kat, for what a great time, honestly, Kit Kat. Great moment for you. For friends who are just joining, we're doing live readings of birth charts for astrologies, which is quite fun. We're booked up for today, though. If you would like a reading for the future, this is what we do. Every Thursday and Saturday, the chart room is open. See what I did there? Isn't that fun? The chart room instead of the chat room. I felt like I had to explain it. But yeah, every Thursday and Saturdays, the chart room is open, and I read charts. I typically like to keep it like 4 readings, because I think after that 4th one, I'm just like, I think I've gabbed enough. So there's a 4 reading limit every session. If you want to book in advance, then please go for it and do it. And also, I do one-on-one readings where we really sit down for a whole last hour on Zoom and we talk about it. We really break it down. I haven't even gone into aspects with these readings. I haven't gone into other planetary things. For the most part, for these 15-minute readings, you'll ask a question, and whatever is standing out in your chart, I will talk about it, and then I will bring in that element to answer one of your questions. So that's what we're doing here. Meredith, you're next up on the list, love. Just let me know if you haven't already done so in the chat that you're here. Okay. Beautiful. Great. Let me show you your chart so you can see what I see. Beautiful. Thank you for the comment on the great video quality. I love cute things. I'm a Libra rising. So I love cute things. It's gotta be cute. It's gotta be cute. If you want to get on the list, there's a link in the description on YouTube, and there's a link in the bio on Instagram, depending on where you're watching, if you want to get on the list. So, Meredith, creativity. Creativity, creativity, creativity. That is what you put in your notes, and that is a theme, absolutely a theme worth exploring right now, especially in regards to Jupiter in Cancer right now, really activating this 5th house of creativity, this 5th house of how we express. It's also the 5th house of romance, of dating. It's that 5th house of, when we think of time well spent on an activity that has probably nothing to do with even being seen, nothing to do with even being visible, and everything to do with the aliveness that comes online when we start something creatively, and it's like, whoa, where did that come from? Whoa, what a process, what a journey, and how cool. It's that energy between like self and spirit of just like, whoa, how cool, how amazing it is, what a gift it is to be a creator. Now, if we didn't have anything happening here in that 5th house, right? If we didn't have anything, I'd be like, well, it's probably a really good time. Maybe we're going through a renaissance period creatively. But since there is a Chiron wound in Cancer here, in the 5th house, it paints a picture of someone who might be a little scared of going out of their comfort zone. I say there's probably a part of you that might fear your creative potential here with Chiron in Cancer in the 5th house. I think going outside of your comfort zone is the medicine here to really utilize your creativity as a way of bringing dimensionality to all of the you-ness that is inside of you, waiting to be expressed. Chiron in Cancer gets cagey. Chiron in Cancer is, scared of putting themselves out there because, vulnerability is a scary thing, right? To really put your heart on your sleeve and to show the entire world it, like, gosh, like, what if, what if they don't like you, or what if, they laugh at you, all the sort of fear, icky feelings that come up with Chiron in Cancer. Now, what we're looking at with Chiron and Cancer and the medicine of it is vulnerability, to put yourself out there, to go outside of your comfort zone and to really break that crabby shell, really break the shell that creates a tough exterior, to really become the mush, right? To become mush, to become that messy creator that just like, great, I'm going to really put it all out there. Forget about how it's perceived, forget about how it's received, like really trusting this Aquarius rising that is like so quirky, so out of the box, and like really putting it on stage. I would say your moon is in Leo. You are a creative being, but your moon is in Leo in the 6th house of service. So your creativity is meant to serve. It's not about being seen and performing for performance sake. It's about putting the heart out there in a sense of just like, wow, your perceptions, how you view the world, how you translate that into creativity is one of your biggest offerings, right? It is to be of service. I think it's worth really thinking here as you're creating is that question. How does my creativity serve? Who does my creativity serve? What is it really bringing to the surface? And how can I keep pushing the limits of my comfort zone creatively, right? So right now we have Jupiter in Cancer in this 5th house, right? Really stretching your philosophies of care. Also really opening the heart here and showing you how much you care. You care deeply. You care so beautifully, right? I would say with all this 8th house energy though, 8th house, Scorpio, Pluto and Scorpio here in the 8th house, there is this sort of untrusting energy. There is also, we're amplifying a bit here, the paranoia probably with our creativities and our shared gifts of like maybe somebody using it as artillery or something damaging. So anytime we're looking at Scorpio, especially here in the 8th house, there is this amplification of paranoia and this idea of like afraid that someone is out to get us, or maybe use how we're serving as a sword, as a dagger through the heart. And we're trying to surrender here, of course, to our intuition, while also discerning, is this intuition or is this paranoia? Is this intuition or is something inside of me making up a story from a pained place, from a place that's like, yeah, of course, betrayal sucks. Betrayal sucks. But I think if we root everything and most of what we do through that moon in Leo, which is service, right, in the 6th house, I think more often than not you will be surprised by how much the universe is just waiting to open those doors for you. How do you open doors? Well, you open it through Gemini. You open it through Gemini in the 3rd house of communication. Jupiter, here really natally opening your doors by speaking, by communicating, by sharing your contrarian truth, by pushing the limits, by going there, going to those places conversationally that maybe people aren't going to. It's okay to like really put ourselves out there. I think Uranus and Gemini here is going to really be like natally, it's about to really activate this Jupiter and Gemini placement. So I want you to start thinking about speaking opportunities. I want you to start thinking about places where you are on stage and you sharing your questions, sharing those perceptions, really being that outlier, really being that voice in the room who, no matter who you're sitting with, no matter what side of the spectrum they're on, you know exactly the questions to ask. Curiosity during this next chapter is really going to be a huge anchor for you. Again, Jupiter and Gemini. Curiosity is how you open doors. Questions is how you open doors. Conversation is how you open doors. And I think Uranus really entering here, activating this Jupiter and Gemini, we're going to see some massive innovation for the next 7 years in how we talk, how we walk, how we communicate, and how those things are expressed. So really think here of those opportunities. Invite yourself to the round table here. Invite yourself to the round table and share. You know, I think sharing is the biggest thing here. And also share through that sun in Scorpio, share the truths that sometimes people don't really want to hear. Share the questions that sometimes people don't want to ask. I think Scorpio here adds a level of like precision and focus on the dead elephant in the room that everyone keeps ignoring. Of course, all of that anchored with that stoic, perfectly like it might look like we're not super emotional, right, when people interact with us, but deep down inside, there's that kid there underneath that Aquarius energy. There is someone who is just like wanting to have these conversations in an exciting way. So think about that. Think about that in relationship to your career, understanding that even with your house of career in the 10th house up here, Sagittarius, the believer, the wanderer, the liberator in many ways, like career comes to you with Uranus in Sagittarius. Career and legacy comes to you in these very like eye-opening moments, in these very like, whoa, God, I didn't see that coming. So while we wait for that career, basically the temple from which we will eventually preach upon, like while we wait that to come into manifestational form, questions. Ask those questions. Ask it, and like go out into the world, go out on stage, and really go to those places that are like, great. How can we also not only dream of a new world, but ask the questions which make the reality of that new world, whatever that is, the romanticism of building a new world, possible? Okay? Possibility, baby. So go outside your comfort zone. Every time you go out of your comfort zone creatively, that Chiron in Cancer wound is like, great, I get it. I'm here now. All right? That's what I have for you, though, Meredith. I hope you found the messages to be resonant. Thank you so much again for those contributions and for trusting me with your chart. It's a beautiful chart. Everybody's charts are beautiful. But this one I think is quite poignant because Uranus is about to enter Gemini and you're at 3 degrees of Gemini. So I usually apply a 2-degree orb for a conjunction or any sort of aspect, and I would say Uranus is entering Gemini at an almost exact conjunction for you, really shaking things up. So let it shake things up. All right, let it shake it up. All right, that's beautiful. I live, I laugh, I love. Thank you again. We got one more reading on the books, and this is for Laura, wherever you are in the world. Please let me know either on Instagram or on YouTube that you're here and you're in the space and ready for your reading. I'm just going to bring your information into my astrology software. Laura, Laura, Laura. Let me just read your notes real quick, love. Mhm. All right. Wow. Oh, Laura. I am I can't help but chuckle. Not because like I'm like, uh-oh, trouble. I chuckle mostly because everyone's notes are so perfect. Like how you answer these questions when you book the session is just like, wow, you don't even know that you're asking about something in your chart that is just so present right there. So in your notes, Laura, and this applies to anybody who has these transits, by the way. So, if you're a Virgo rising, there's part of this message that might resonate for you too. So listen up and lean in. Well, actually, if you're either a Virgo rising or a Libra rising, because it really depends. You can have a Virgo rising and still have Aries in your seventh house. You can be a Libra rising and have Aries energy in your seventh house. It really depends. So, codependency, autonomy, especially autonomy in relationship with others, right, can be a blurry area to traverse if either A, we don't start the relationship from a place of autonomy, of like, okay, cool, or at least an awareness of perhaps codependent tendencies, and that being spoken about and understood in relationships that you're building. This applies to romantic partnership, business partnerships, friendships, you name it. So there's that element. And on top of all of that, there's the element of like really knowing if the relationships you have could at least meet you at your understanding as well. Meet you at like, hey, actually, I'm noticing this coming up for me, and I want to have a conversation with you about it. So, all these themes of relationship and connecting, and the energy created from these relationships, and the energies taken from these relationships, that's what we're talking about when we think of the seventh house, right? Now, depending on what's in your seventh house, will paint a picture of the sort of energy we're meant to explore in this lifetime, the environment, or the color of this universal, you know, philosophical exploration of relationships that we all go through in some way, shape, or form. Now, with Aries in the seventh house, we're looking at me in relationship, me in connection, I, right? And we have a couple of energies here in your seventh house, which paint a picture of someone who probably is too self-sacrificing when it comes to relationship. And I would say probably what's happening as like when we begin these relationships, we begin at that level. Virgo rising, how can I be of service? How can I help you? How can I, do more for you? And measuring our value by how much we help others and fix others and optimize others. And all our energy really goes into relating to others from a very subservient realm. And let me tell you, Virgo is not a bad thing. We like having the energy of being able to consider others and to be able to look at something practically and go, oh, I know how to help. And boom, 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 here we go. Here's a solution. It's amazing, the solutions that come from Virgo energy. But it gets completely out of whack when we start associating our worth by how much we can fix, or rather like having this constant pulse on like what's wrong, what's not working, like this incessant itch you can't scratch. So there's that part of the conversation. On top of that, we have a Chiron wound in Pisces in the seventh house as well. So Chiron here in Pisces, we give so much to a martyring degree here. Pisces, and we do this just like from the jump. We just give, empathy, compassion, all of that, completely knocked back and forth in its shadow. Pisces here really wants you to understand that yes, it's important for us to have our heart open, but also we can't always be so open. It's talk about like not knowing where we begin and where the other person ends. That is what we're looking at here with Chiron in Pisces. So I think there is a lesson here of also letting go of who or what you think or dream relationships to be, and surrendering to what clearly is in relationship to the people around you, which is the Aries hard truth. We're going through our second Saturn return, love. It is our second Saturn return, at least that we're aware of. The first, Saturn arrival when we were born, and then the first Saturn return, which is around the ages 27 and 29. And then we have our second one where all the sort of lessons from 27 to 29, boom, come up to the surface. I think it's worth looking back at those years and thinking and reflecting and contemplating for yourself, love, Laura, of like, cool, what did that era teach me about myself in relationship? Saturn in Aries here is really wanting to test the limits of your courage in relationship to others. What are we not saying? What are we not expressing? What are we masking and hiding out of fear that we won't be embraced and accepted? All right? So where does that live inside of you? And can we really push past that fear? I would say here, maybe walk with the fear. It doesn't mean we're reaching a space of readiness. Okay, I'm ready to do the brave thing in relationship. I'm ready to express the thing that I want in relationship. I'm ready to be myself in relationship. There is no readiness. There is no readiness. There only is the action. So walking with fear into the space, walking with that person inside of you. I say here, my partner, he had this beautiful reflection on, this sort of energy. And there's a watery energy. He's Cancer rising, so he's such a mush. But he's also an Aries sun. And we were talking about how understanding that the heart carries a shield and a sword. And I would say in this conversation, Aries is the heart that carries a sword. And it's not that I'm carrying a sword because I'm just going to off with everyone's head. Or not. I'm not carrying the sword out of fear. I'm just like, don't make me use it. No, it's the sword that's just like here. It's ready whenever we need to do it. But what we're looking at here is risking confrontation, risking conflict, risking, being misunderstood, and the sort of isolating feelings that come from that. I think in many ways, Virgo would probably translate that as something's wrong with me. I need to do something. I need to make myself better to meet this relationship where it's at. Like, we don't need to do that anymore. I think we get to really hold to who we are and to stand our ground in that, and it's not easy, like Saturn here, it doesn't make the conversation easy, and it's in conjunction with your sun in Aries. So this tension of like bravery in relationship with others is core to your DNA. This sort of like, ooh, why does this feel so hard is the point. And if we are to rise to the astrological assignment here, if we are really wholeheartedly to just do the astrology, this is where I let my clients know and my people know it's 11/11 for me. Fuck yeah. I let my people know, it's like, hey, we just got to try it on. Astrology is not a predictive tool. Shrew me. No. Sorry, my dog is digging. No. Here I am, like, telling her who to be. She just naturally does it. But no, Shumi, I love you. Come here. Good girl. So all we got to do is try on the astrology. It fails as a predictive model. Absolutely. It's not a tool that's going to tell you what's going to happen in 7 days, but it does tell you the weather that's available, energetic weather patterns, and also ideas of how we can show up, how we can move through this. So I encourage you to really think here about bravery and courage, and how can we do the day in, day out work of being courageous in our relationships, doing the brave work of like, hey, this is me, this is where I stand. And it's not because I'm trying to be unmovable or unreasonable again, but this is where I stand, and I see where you stand. What is the middle path from here? What is the middle way? And how can I find that middle way without having to sacrifice my values? Because your values aren't off. Your values are beautiful. And sometimes people just don't really understand it. Okay? Okay. So that's what I have for you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Where does that land for you, by the way, love? I'm curious, like, where does that land for you? What do you think the next brave thing for you to do is in relationship with others? Where do you think that is? How do you think that is? I'm curious. Yeah. You're so welcome, love. You're very, very welcome. Yeah. To be fair, the Virgo rising did need to grow. Of course, growth is hardwired into any Virgo placement and its DNA. Growth is hardwired, for sure. But sometimes with that Virgo energy, it's getting everyone else to grow but themselves. It's like they know how to get other people to grow so clearly, but when the wisdom needs to get applied to oneself, that's where it can be hurtful and damaging to the psyche. And with Virgo rising, we're looking at how self-perception, that inner critic is amplified. It's loud, very, very loud. So there's that as well. All right, friends. Well, on that note, we are set. We are all done here. Thank you all for your contributions. Happy Saturday. I hope you have a brilliant rest of the day. And I hope you try to just let's imbue it with curiosity, with Uranus and Gemini. Let's think curiosity. Let's think outside the box here. Let's think of those inner child questions that linger inside our soul, and how can we utilize our day-to-day life as an exploration of those questions, because the energy is potent and stacked in all of it. Surrender to it, ask questions, and know your answers in the process of that, while also humbling oneself in regards to allowing the perceptions of others in without needing to completely become them as well. Okay? Great. All right, friends. Thank you so much. This has been a great time. Say goodbye to everybody in the space before heading out. I appreciate you. I love you. I had such a great time out here. It was a nice change of environment. And we'll be back soon. Next Thursday, we'll do some of these chart readings again. Please check out the link in the bio and the link in the description if you'd like to book one in advance. And we'll see each other then. Bye for now. Bye, friends. Thank you. Thank you.